By the way, I'll say first, if you've contributed at all over YouTube, I know some people have made offerings, Dana offerings over YouTube. And my thing is, I always like to say thank you if I can to the person or the people who have helped, even if you've provided presents, which is the ultimate offering for real. Um, but if I can't find you to say thank you, I just put it out here in the group. If you've helped me at all, um, that means you've helped my animals, my animal friends. They're not my animals. If anything, I'm their animal. Um, but you've helped these animals, the cat and the five dogs. You've helped my neighbors. You've helped Yeshi. You've helped, people that are making this group possible and happen. Yeah. So, for example, today I was able to get food, um, and I have pretty much everything I need. I got some extra propane just in case it gets cold again, and I got 3 jugs of water refills. Not socks yet. No socks. I know you wanted to see my big toe. No, I'm okay. Don't worry though. Thankfully the weather's warming up, and I love digging my bare feet into the dirt out here. It's so amazing until you hit a cactus, but or a needle. No, I'm just kidding. Both needles actually. Yeah, I was able to get some potatoes and broccoli. Yes, carrots. I like to eat raw a lot, even cashews and peanuts and all this stuff. And Sterling is here. That's how I found out Sterling's here. I just saw Doritos. No, Sterling, I passed up the Doritos, buddy. So anyway, big thanks. It goes a long way. I was able to also help another uh, elderly neighbor who was begging out on the street, and I mean, anybody would consider it harsh temperatures. So I was able to give him $5 though, and another. I know that I probably shouldn't be giving out the little that I have, but to me, there's a flow to it all. And anyway, they don't have the internet and they don't have those kinds of methods, so it really felt nice to share with them too. And typically, I'm just kind of sharing that if you pass a gift on to me, your gift most likely goes to other beings. And one day I'd like to have a complete list of every penny, where every penny goes. It would be pretty awesome on the website so people can be part of it more, right? Like if you gave me $5 and I gave 250 of that to a friend who needed food, you should know that, and you helped me out with food. Although maybe I'm speaking in 1950s language, you cannot get any food for $2.50 anymore. That'll get you a bag of peanuts. But you know what I mean. It's a beautiful thing, we have Emmy out here who's starting an animal rescue operation all on her own. So whenever I have just a little bit extra, I definitely pass over to her because I know she's taking all these animals to the vet. And right now she's got more dogs than her house can even handle. And she just brought another pregnant female in because she cares about these animals so much. Yeah, so just to give you an idea, all right? And then because of the conversion rates, we can help our friends out like Yeshi and Sundup who've made this group possible, who have been like family with me, making this happen. You send $10 and it gets them like a whole grocery trip. It's awesome. Okay, so now that I put that out there, just big gratitude. You are really keeping the fat on my body, keeping me warm and keeping me fed. So thank you. I have no other job. I've dedicated my life to this, and I'm very happy to do so. I don't know if anybody heard that, but anyway, there are other parts of this, the physical manifestation. Okay. Okay, very good. So we'll get into the text here after the dogs stop barking. It's okay, a little beer. You're okay, buddy. Okay. So we left off here at the all creating monarch, also known as the Kunyigalpa or the Kula Raja Tantra. Uh, and it starts out, it says, awakened mind, the universal cause, accounts for the five great elements that are the essence of mind, the five bodhisattva teachers. Theirs is the Sambhogakaya embodiment. The teaching is elucidated by virtue of its own essence. These teachers reveal the nature of self-knowing awareness. Yeah, this is something that's been coming up actually as a theme, rising like a little sprout in the garden. If you could go back up a little bit, the implications of this are quite profound. It's saying that the elements are your teachers. If you can begin to embrace this, that everything is happening as a teacher, as an unfolding, as a blossoming of your enlightened mind, even really tough situations, then it's almost like you gain a superpower because everything, the implications are that everything that happens to you is a teaching and it's going to keep happening to you until you get the wisdom. With awareness practice, we shortcut everything. We just accept everything as a teaching, essentially, as mind. And we accept that intimacy and the presence, the pure presence. So to me, though, this means all sentient beings are being taught right now. All right. If you're lucky, you get explicitly pointed out and reminded, and yeah, you're free. But everybody's everybody's basically on a Dharma retreat right now. So, and that's the Sambhogakaya embodiment, meaning that the cognizant aspect. So it says, I'll continue. As enlightened being itself, these Sambhogakaya teachers do not conceive of themselves in any way, nor do they create concepts about something other phenomenon as sense objects. The five bodhisattva teachers all reveal the nature of phenomenon in this way. And it could be a reference to the five Buddha families too, which would be a very early reference to the eight consciousnesses because, right, the eight consciousnesses are mentioned in here, and so are the five Buddha families, and so are the five wisdoms, and the five lights, and the five elements. And the Kunyigalpa is attributed to Sri Singha um, via Virachana, the translator, the great translator. So this must have been prior to the 7th century, or at least in the 7th, 8th centuries, very early on before Longchen, who was in the 1300s. So that's significant in some people out there that are getting a little bit more technical. That this is a very early mention of this stuff, just like Naguma's stages of illusion, when she's essentially citing the Kunyigalpa, and we found line by line correlations with the Kunyigalpa and Naguma's presentation. Very interesting, fascinating stuff. So it says the timeless awareness of awakened mind occurs naturally as the embodiment of these teachers. So words and letters are not revealed. Revealing the nature of self-knowing awareness involves no concept of self, no concept of other, but rather reveals the enlightened being of non-conceptual evenness. And remember, it says enlightened intent. I'm changing it to being because it's a reference to the second stage of the Eightfold Path, which is right thought or right intent. It's tough to translate that because the first of the Eightfold Path is right view. So if you're abiding in your open, enlightened mind, then every thought, every word, every action is going to be enlightened intent. But intent has a connotation of doing. It has a rigidity to it. That's why I don't favor that word. If you have any thoughts about that, feel free to share, but it's just not my favorite word. So I say enlightened beingness because that would include your body, speech, and mind without any intention, right? Tension. Why would we use a word with the word tension in it? There's no tension. Okay. So by realizing this, all ordinary beings of the three realms become equal to all Buddhas. The nature of phenomenon that they seek is attained unsought. Yeah, you see, Alex, what I was telling you, continue to. We don't even know how that sun of awareness starts to dawn. It just starts to dawn in all these asymmetrical ways. It's quite impressive. If the more you trust and the more you release, whenever you see that fork in the road, that wow, I'm tightening up. I'm having cognitive fusion, right? I'm making my thoughts rigid. I'm making my emotions rigid. Whenever we see that, there's this thing called discerning conditioned consciousness from unconditioned consciousness, or discerning consciousness from wisdom. It's a very famous part of the path, and I always recommend the Trangu Rinpoche text on that. The I believe it was the third Dalai Lama that he's doing a commentary on his teaching of distinguishing consciousness from wisdom. And so that's exactly what fifth account was essentially asking about is I don't know if I'm resting or not. It'll start to become more and more obvious for us because of that obvious contraction. And you can look in your mind in your scalp. You can feel it along your scalp and your neck, your shoulders, and your frontal lobe. If your eyes are blinking a lot, your lips, your jaw hold a lot of tension. Um, so there are many, many indicators that we're contracting into samsara versus our clear, light, open mind. A clear, a clear, open mind that feels like the sky, you know, but at the same time doesn't negate experience. All right, yes. In the same section, this source also describes the situations that apply to water, fire, air, and space. All right, we'll tackle that another time because that's a theme that's presenting itself right now naturally in our synchronicity. So I think it's a topic we'll be exploring in the next couple of sessions is how the elements correlate with the mind. And what is that called, by the way? The quantum is it entanglement where they say one particle is over there and the other particle's over here and well that would also, at least for my amateur cherry picking, lend itself to Dzogchen because that multidimensionality that I was describing before. Your mind has the capability, like when you're dreaming, to create a person, to create an environment that the person's in, to create thoughts and feelings about that environment. And then the fourth dimension, having awareness of the person having thoughts and feelings about the environment, right? That trichotomy is in there. Yes, quantum entanglement. So that kind of theory would allow for that because here you have the person, and over here you have the mountain that they're looking at. And so this person is having thoughts about this mountain. So you need a non-dual environment, but you also need the mountain to be over here. You're creating the mountain from over here. So this is applying right now. I have a mountain in front of me. My mind is propping that mountain up. Is it creating itself from its own side? We don't need to speculate. We know for a fact that our mind is creating that mountain right there, the perception of that mountain from solidity all the way to visibility. And you don't need to believe that. That's not a scientific conclusion we need to reach. That's something within awareness begins to expose itself. That mountain is being held, created, and maintained by your mind. And since it's a subtle level of your mind that's propping that up simultaneously as a co-emergence, um, I think it could get along with this entanglement theory. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little input on that. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening today and taking part in the Dharma talks. And this mind science is so impressive. I could go on and on about how amazing it all is to me, this group and the talks that we have and everything that's happening. It's beautiful. You can have a robot Buddha.
Yeah, the AI. I'm going to talk to the AI about the quantum entanglement and and see what Robot Buddha says about it.
Very nice. Yeah. I like that. It's like hacking, you know, you can pick that thing's brain.
Yeah.
And just verify always because the AI gets things wrong quite often right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other? Oh, somebody asked about the long sits. I believe that's happening. $200 only for the long sit. Can you believe that's a deal right there? $200. $200 to sit there and do nothing for 2 hours. I'll also sell you some shares in meditationonline.com. We have a 401k now.
What about the Dzogchen coin?
Yes, I'll do a rug pull. Great idea. So I'll start a new coin. I'll call it the meditation coin. You guys buy it all, and then after you buy it, I'll sell it. Sounds good, right? It's what everybody's doing right now. So please, you guys, don't buy any coins and get rug pulled. All right. You know, I hope my satire and my deadpan sometimes doesn't throw you off. I'm totally joking about this stuff. All right, please understand. Next thing you know, it's gonna be on Reddit. Lama Dawai's got a big crypto coin. All right. Any other thoughts that don't kill the brain? Everybody good? Well, it's so nice to be here with you all. Really, thank you, thank you. And I hope wherever you go, you have that freedom, that spaciousness. Take it with you, and that friendship. Yeah, and the long sit is coming up on Saturday. Okay, Saturday, and it's so far it's totally free. But if Dorje starts charging you, let me know, and we'll work out a payment plan. Okay, that's my last dad joke for the day. We got to close the session now. It'll get out of hand. So these sessions are considered very meritorious. A lot of good, any realization, any compassion that has come out of this gathering. They're beings in His very presence. They're suffering, and we give it all to them. And deep bow to you, my friends. Please have a beautiful day.